Here's what she said about the economy. She said, quote, groceries, utility, insurance, and the basic cost of running small business keep rising faster than wages. She also says that not enough is being done. Mr. President, this is one of your supporters.
Okay, good. And I love her because you said I got an A+ on everything, I guess. I don't know. But
she's still worried about the economy.
But what you have to understand, the word affordability. I inherited a mess. I inherited a total mess. Prices were at an all-time high when I came in. Prices are coming down substantially. Look at energy. You and I discussed before the interview energy. Energy has come down incredibly. When energy comes down, everything, because it's so much bigger than any other subject, but energy has come down incredibly. Prices are all coming down. It's been 10 months. It's amazing what we've done. If you think of gasoline a gallon, they had it at $4.50, almost $5. You go to some of the states, you had it at $6. We hit 3 states 2 days ago, $1.99 a gallon. When that happens, everything comes down pretty good.
But I do want to talk about the economy, sir, here at home, and I wonder what grade you would give your economy. A+.
Yeah, A++++++.
That's Donald Trump rating his economy A++++++, which is to say, at a time when more than 2/3 of Americans disapprove of the economy, the fact that Trump thinks it's perfect means he is both out of touch with the vast majority of Americans and that he's not going to do anything to fix it. After all, if it's not broken, what's there to fix? Why aim to improve an economy that's already A++++++? Note too that Donald Trump says that prices are already coming down. First of all, that is yet another instance of just how out of touch this guy is. According to the latest polling, the vast majority of Americans believe that prices are going up, not down. And it's also just objectively false. He brought up the issue of energy specifically. Energy prices have thus far surged 11% in Trump's second term, despite promises that he would, quote, cut the price of energy and electricity in half by the start of 2026. According to The Guardian, among the reasons for the increase are Trump's moves to boost fossil fuels, says the new letter, which was also signed by Senators Ed Markey of Massachusetts and Jeff Merkley of Oregon. That includes coal, the costliest and dirtiest energy source. The president's also waged a war on inexpensive wind and solar power, despite soaring electricity demand driven by artificial intelligence data centers. More than 12 million U.S. homes could have been powered by the clean energy projects that have been canceled or delayed since Trump's re-election. The White House has also made the crisis worse by proposing to eliminate the $4 billion which Congress approved for heating and cooling via the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. He's also seeking to cut or eliminate funding for the Energy Star program, which promotes energy efficiency and has saved Americans $500 billion in energy costs, according to the federal data. So not only are energy prices rising, but they're rising thanks to him. And yet the fact that he suggests that the opposite is happening is a testament to either his delusion or his dishonesty, but either way, wholly disqualifying. And of course, now that Donald Trump has issued his clarion call, the rest of his little minions are doing what they do best and following the leader by regurgitating his talking points. This was Republican lawmaker Mark Alford today doing his best to get recognized by Daddy Trump.
I do wonder how you would grade the economy.
A+. Look, I'm using the same template that our president is using, and that is the potential, what we are going to see with the economy in the first and second quarter. While we're having a lot of cold in the Midwest right now, a lot of ice, America is going to heat up with the economy based on the tariffs that are coming in, the tariff money, based on the One Big Beautiful Bill, the working family tax cuts. It is going to supercharge the economy. This is a bow and arrow right now. We have drawn back the bow, and in the first quarter, we're going to let this arrow go, and it's going to hit the target.
In other words, the rest of the GOP is ensuring that Americans can all see that not only is Trump saddled with the blame for high prices, but that they are too. They are broadcasting right now that Donald Trump is perfect, the economy is perfect, and that nothing should change whatsoever, including all those high costs, because remember, it's A++++++. And let's be clear, this is not a fluke or a one-off. This is a consistent message being peddled by the GOP. Here's what Trump's been saying when asked about affordability, which I should remind you is what he predicated his entire campaign on leading up to 2024.
It's a con job. I think affordability is the greatest con job. They look at you and they say, affordability. They don't say anything else. Everyone says, oh, their prices were so low. No, they had the worst inflation. And it didn't have much of an impact because the prices were very high. But our prices now for energy, but for gasoline are really low. Electricity's coming down. And when that comes down, everything comes down. But the word affordability is a Democrat scam. They say it, and then they go on to the next subject. And everyone thinks, oh, they had lower prices. No, they had the worst inflation in the history of our country. Now, some people will correct me, because they always love to correct me, even though I'm right about everything. But some people like to correct me, and they say 48 years. I say it's not 48 years, it's much more. But they say it's the worst inflation that we've had in 48 years. I say ever, but whether it's 48 years or ever, it's pretty bad. We had the worst inflation that we've ever had.
Yeah, one more. Yeah, when you talk about affordability, is going forward, are the American people, do you believe, getting impatient with the reforms that you're making? They've talked about it's about.
I think they're getting fake news from guys like you. Look, affordability is a hoax that was started by Democrats who caused the problem of pricing, and they didn't end it. When, look, they lost in a landslide. We won every swing state, we won the popular vote, we won everything.
Gotta love Trump seething over the fact that Americans are recognizing the con that they've been sold after he peddled this idea of affordability on the campaign trail, only to send costs soaring once he took power. And so now, Democrats have been running on fixing the problems created by Trump, and his response is to claim that the very word affordability is a Democrat scam, a Democrat hoax, which is a tad bit ironic, considering this is what he posted just days ago. Quote, "I am the affordability president, talk loudly and proudly." Or how about this one? Quote, "Affordability is our goal, love to the American people." So which is it? Is affordability a Democrat hoax, or is affordability literally Trump's entire MO? Because whichever it is, Trump should probably tell that to Trump. And it's not just Donald Trump who's bristling at the fact that the GOP is getting killed on affordability. Here's J.D. Vance.
If you look at every affordability crisis that's confronting the American people today, it is traceable directly to a problem caused by Joe Biden and congressional Democrats. Why did homes get so unaffordable? Because we had 20 million illegal aliens in this country taking homes that ought by right to go to American citizens. Why did tax bills get so unaffordable? Because Democrats were raising taxes while congressional Republicans under the president's leadership were now cutting taxes. Why did food get so expensive? Because we printed trillions of dollars and threw it into green scams that made our agricultural economy suffer while Americans were paying higher prices for food. On every single one of those issues, Mr. President, I think we've made incredible progress. But it would be preposterous to fix every problem caused over the last 4 years in just 10 months. I think that we've done incredibly good. But what I see over the next year, and you heard Brooke talk about joy and gratitude, what I really think this season represents for me, and I think for the entire administration, is that we have now done incredible work to fix what Joe Biden broke. And I think the next year in American growth and American prosperity could be the best year that we've had in the United States of America. It's going to happen because we're all working hard. It's going to happen because we have the greatest country in the world. But I think for congressional Democrats in particular, if they want to talk about affordability, they ought to look in the mirror. We are fixing what they're broken. We're proud to do it. It's the job that we were elected to do. But I think 2026 is going to be the year where this economy really takes off.
Again, which is it? Will prices go down on day one, or will prices go down in year two? Because the goalposts sure do seem to be shifting quite a bit. The bad news for Trump is that while he and Vance and the rest of the GOP sycophants might insist on manifesting these lies into reality by virtue of repeating them over and over and over, the American people clearly know better. I spoke on CNN about the fact that Trump is now contending with his lowest polling ever.
So let's start with President Trump's approval rating. What do you make of that, Brian?
I think that people are recognizing the con that they've been sold. This guy swept into office amid a fury of populist promises that he would lower the cost of groceries, of eggs, of housing, of rent. And then he got into office, engaged in a trade war that sent the cost of everything surging, cut everybody's health coverage, Medicaid, ACA subsidies, food assistance. And on top of all of that, had the audacity to actually focus his attention on encrusting his Oval Office in gold, building a $350 million ballroom, buying a couple of Gulfstream jets, getting his own Qatari jet that he retrofitted to the tune of $1 billion, paid for by American taxpayers. And look, If Trump wants to pretend that affordability is somehow solved, he can be my guest. But the American people can very clearly see that things are getting more expensive, not less. I mean, they literally just voted in Democrats in a blue wave a few weeks back on this exact issue, a failure of this president and his party to keep their promises when it comes to affordability. And yet, instead of actually seeking to fix those problems, Trump and Republicans do what they always do, which is to try and gaslight everyone into thinking that it's already been fixed and it's amazing and no one else can fix it like Trump can, and many people are even saying that he deserves a prize. And the irony, by the way, of this strategy is that telling people the economy is doing perfectly when people's individual finances are not doing well is the exact phenomenon that plagued the Democrats and paved the way for Trump himself to win this past election. So the fact that Donald Trump is now falling victim to that exact same phenomenon that he once exploited is even more hypocritical since, of all people, he should know better. But still, the urge to lie is clearly too strong. The truth is that affordability is simply not a focus for Donald Trump. It was, again, on the campaign trail when he needed something from people, namely their support, but now that he's got that power, he doesn't care about them. Simple as that. Now his focus is on himself, on building a $350 million ballroom, renovating the Lincoln bathroom in marble, paving over the Rose Garden, encrusting the Oval Office in gold, retrofitting a Qatari jet to the tune of $1 billion, on buying Kristi Noem a couple of Gulfstream jets, on hosting crypto dinners where he casually doubles his net worth. You're starting to recognize why he needs everyone to be distracted with the usual culture wars about the evil communist Marxist Democrats and immigrants. Because if his base wasn't distracted by those things, they'd be able to see that Trump doesn't actually give a shit about them and is solely focused on himself and clearly giving himself the highest grade possible. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.